This is the Haworth Soji, and after having tested it for a while, it is my favorite chair in the $500–600 price point. This colorware that I have here is at about 800 bucks, but you don't need to go for this color. If you get the all black version, fully upgraded, it comes in at about 600 bucks. And if you decide to get one that doesn't have the extra lumbar support, it comes in at sub 500, which I think is a phenomenal deal. Now, there are some cons here and there, which I'll talk about as I go through the chair, but there's one major con, which if you're over 200 pounds, you may want to avoid this chair, but we'll talk about that more in the under chair feature section. Let's get honest. Links to everything will be down in the description below. Please use them as it really keeps this channel alive, and I really appreciate it. Starting from the bottom and working our way up, the casters on this chair are soft casters, so they'll be good on hard floors as well as carpets. Now, the legs on this chair are one of the skinniest that I've ever seen on a chair, and so if you're somebody who likes to put your feet on top of the legs while you work, maybe you're a little shorter and you like to do this so that it feels like you're touching the ground and you have more support, it's not gonna be great for that. Your feet will slide off pretty darn easily. If you have a question about this chair or any of the other chairs I've reviewed, make sure you leave a comment down below. I do my best to read and answer all of them. Also, please like this video and get subscribed for more chair content. I really appreciate it. When it comes to features under the chair, we'll start from the right side. Here, this tab in the front is gonna control your height adjustment for up and down. And then on the right side, you've got this knob which you can spin, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. If you loosen it, it's gonna be much easier to tilt back in your chair. And then if you tighten it, with just about like maybe 10 spins altogether, it's gonna make it much more difficult to tilt back in your chair. Now, this is where the con that I talked about in the beginning comes in. You have a limit for how much you can tighten the back tilt. So I'm 170 pounds, about 5'6". Now, if I go ahead and sit in this chair and give it all, totally just let myself loose in the chair, you can see this is the upright position. And then when I'm totally leaned back, like just putting all my weight on it, this is how much I could go far back. There are some people who don't like leaning back in their chair. And if you are gonna be over about 200 pounds, a little more top heavy, you can imagine that you might actually find yourself coming like this far back, and you may not like that. But there's no way you can prevent that in this chair because you can't tighten it anymore. So something to be mindful for if you're heavy and you don't like tilting back or tilting back far in your chair. Now, you can lock the chair in place, you can lock the chair upright. I'll get to that in a second. So if you like that, well, then you can still pick this chair up. Anyways, moving to the left side. So you've got, I'll start with the options that come on every single chair. It's these two levers in the front here. The one on the inside is gonna control your seat pan. So if you're a person with longer legs, you can go ahead and pop by moving, you guys thrust those hips out. You can get the seat pan to come out. And then if you pull that tab and then push it back in, then it'll make the seat pan come back inside. The tab on the outside is gonna control your back stop. So it only, unfortunately, has two positions, locked and unlocked. It doesn't have back stop, so if I wanted to stop it at here and make it, I can't go any further than that, I can't do that. It's literally totally unlocked or totally locked. Right? I can't push back anymore. This is, if you're somebody who likes an upright position, this is a fantastic chair. This mesh back feels amazing, which I'll get to in just a minute. But yeah, again, if you're somebody who wants it a little loose, wants to go just back a little bit, you can control that using the knob, but if you're heavier, you might have issues with that. Now, the optional upgrade you can get on this chair is going to be the forward tilt in the chair. So what that means is here, the tab is right underneath your thigh here. And if I go ahead and pull that and tilt forward, you're gonna see that the seat pan tilted forward. And what this does is it drives your feet into the ground so that as you're driven into the ground, your back actually straightens up. And it does a pretty good job. This is something that I've heard people who are maybe developers who wanna get closer to the screen. Sometimes gamers who like to be a little bit more engaged with their screen. People who are doing arts and crafts or knitting or something that wanna be a little closer to what they're doing. All of these kinds of folks find this to be very helpful, as well as people who are older, have a hard time getting out of their chairs. Because this happens, it's much easier to plant your feet into the ground and then rise up out of your chair. So it's got a whole bunch of practical uses if you find that to be useful. Me personally, I don't find this feature very helpful in all the chairs that I own. So yeah, I think you can go without it. The seat pad on this chair is pretty darn comfortable. Now you can tell that it's not the highest quality foam in the world. It's something that when you push it down, it goes straight down. I'm gonna give it, it's probably like a medium soft firmness, so it's pretty soft. It doesn't have a lot of like spring back, like it's not necessarily like a memory foamish kind of thing. If you're concerned about this thing flattening over time, well, that's why Haworth's 12-year warranty is so great. You can probably claim that if you start to feel the bottom of your chair, that might be something you might be able to claim under warranty, and their warranty has a pretty good reputation. Now, one thing that I do want to comment on that I don't really comment on all that much unless it's an issue is the seat fabric. Now, this fabric is not rough, it's not tough by any means. It's just different. I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of feels like a slightly rougher wool scarf. Like this, I don't know actually what material this is, but it kind of actually feels like my sweater, just slightly more rough. I don't know if that's the right word, just a little more, not pilly, but yeah, it's just very interesting fabric that they chose here. It's not like a smooth fabric. The seat pan is soft all around, making it great for ergonomic rebels who like to kind of curl up or twist up into their chair. It's nice and wide as well. You can get these arms somewhat out of the way. So if you're someone who likes to curl with both legs, I can't quite do that yet. My ACL is still recovering. You can get pretty comfortable in this chair. And again, with the seat pan coming out, oh, wrong one. Yeah, with the seat pan being able to come out, you can really get a lot of space inside of this chair for ergonomic rebels. The arms on this chair are okay. At the very top, they don't have a ton of rattle. And they're able to go forward and back, in and out. And they can also swivel in, middle, and out. And again, one of the things that people note about some of Steelcase chairs is how easy it is to just move the arm position out of the way. With this, everything is pretty rigid, making it pretty difficult to move things around. So if you're somebody who likes that, then more power to you. Now, these arm pads are a little bit on the small side. They're angled inwards a little bit, and the padding on top isn't super duper soft. It's more like a soft-ish plastic, so not a ton of softness on these things. You can always buy like some cover to go around the armrest to make it a little softer, by the way, as a pro tip for your chairs. The backrest on this chair is phenomenal. I think Haworth has done an excellent job with the backrest, these mesh backrests on their back. Now, it is not soft, so if you decide to sit on this with like a tank top or something, your arms are gonna get scratched up because the fabric is pretty rough. But in terms of overall support for when you're sitting in the chair, it feels pretty darn phenomenal. My friend who's 6'1", he's got a wide build, well, he's my assistant technically. He's 6'1", he's got a wide build. He's been someone who's been helping me around the studio. He sat in this and was like, yeah, it feels really comfortable. And one of the things that I really like about this is that even though you're not gonna be able to spread your chest completely in this chair because your arms will make contact, it's better than the newer Soji, which is a like $1,200 chair. So yeah, in terms of arm spreading in this, the openness of chest, you're getting a lot more room in this chair than on the Soji. So yeah, this is phenomenal. It feels great. It really does. Just keep in mind, it can be a bit scratchy. When it comes to this lumbar thing, this is an optional lumbar upgrade, and it's okay, right? It's, again, to Haworth's credit, it's just a piece of plastic, but they designed it in a way where it's not gonna prod and poke into your back because it is plastic. So they did a good job in the design there. In terms of extra support, it's okay, right? You can definitely feel it, right? I'm wearing a sweater here, a thick sweater, and I can still feel the effect it has on my back. More than anything, it just adds a little bit of pressure so that your back is able to, like, it's not gonna totally slouch inside of it like this, but having that there can actually help support and keep that upper back like propped up in the proper way. So I think it can be an additional upgrade if you can afford it. If you do like a little extra oomph in your lumbar, I do recommend purchasing this upgrade. That's gonna do it for this one. Until next time, stay honest.